Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loki here. Join me today as we learn all about growing sweet peas. So let's go. Full disclosure, I have never sown annual sweet peas from seed. I can't believe it. I know it's pretty crazy. So this is the first year that I'm going to be trying. And before I even try, I did a whole bunch of research and I want to share with you my findings. I was actually surprised at how much information was out there when it comes to growing sweet peas. You would think you just take the seeds and just plunk them in the ground and voila, you have beautiful sweet peas. Where you live, maybe you can get away with doing that, but I know where I live, it's not that easy. Depending on where you live, you might have to do things differently, but I'm going to share with you all the information that I found. So grab a cup of coffee, a notebook and pen if you want to take notes, or you can just always refer back to this video. Timing and climate setup. You usually see these flowers blooming sometime in the late spring or early summer months, and that can typically fall sometime between April through July in the northern hemisphere, or during the months of August through December in the southern hemisphere. The plants thrive in cool weather, but they fizzle out as soon as the weather starts to heat up. And you'll typically see them fizzling out when the temperatures are consistently above 80 degrees Fahrenheit. In warm climates, which typically fall in USDA zones 8 through 11, you can direct sow the seeds, or you can start the seeds indoors and then transplant them out in autumn. And that usually falls during the months of October through November. Those regions are lucky because they can actually get their plants out in the autumn, get the plants to establish themselves, get a nice deep root system going, and all of this can happen without their grounds freezing solid. But that's a different story for colder climates, typically USDA zones 3 through 7, which I happen to fall under. In these zones, you can start your seeds indoors during the late winter months, and that can fall sometime between middle of January through March. The ground tends to freeze in these colder climates, which is why we can't get away with getting these plants put out in the autumn time. I'm not that familiar with the southern hemisphere, but what I found was typically if you want to grow your sweet peas, you can start them sometime around March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. Some people have had great success with winter sowing their seeds, and if you're going to do that, it's usually during the months of January or February in the northern hemisphere. You want to make sure that your nighttime temperatures are consistently below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And once the soil temperature is consistently above 50 degrees Fahrenheit, that's when the seeds will start to germinate. Many times when you buy a packet of seeds, it will tell you that you can start your seeds about 6 to 8 weeks before your average last frost date. And remember, when it comes to starting seeds indoors, it's not based on your growing zone. It's based on your zip code or your location. If you don't know what your average last frost date is, you can always just do an internet search. Something like, what is my average last frost date? And then put in your location. And the internet should give you that information. If you want to start your seeds indoors, you can start them about 6 to 8 weeks before you're planning to plant them out in your garden. Now that plant out date is not necessarily your average last frost date. It's when your nighttime temperatures are consistently above 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's also when the soil is not soggy and it's been fully thawed out. And then you can aim to plant out your seedlings about 4 to 8 weeks before your average last frost date. Again, keeping in mind that those nighttime temperatures need to be consistently above 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Considerations. One thing to consider is when you're direct sowing your seeds, they are definitely susceptible to pest pressure. Certain pests can include mice. Mice love to eat the seeds as well as seedlings. Birds even can peck around and cut back your plants. And then of course there are the dreaded slugs, and they can definitely decimate your plants. And in colder climates like mine, when you direct sow your seeds, there's always that chance that those seeds will rot because the ground is still very saturated, very cold. So what's one way that you can protect from the pest pressure? Well, if you do have a greenhouse or a cold frame or some sort of structure like that, you can actually help your seedlings by protecting them in that structure. But another thing to consider is if you are going to start your seeds in a cold frame or a greenhouse, you're going to want to harden off those seedlings before you transplant them outside. Seed pre-treatment. This is a topic of great controversy. Some people say you should absolutely treat your seeds before you sow them. Other people say that's a joke, you don't need to do it. Just take the seeds and plunk them in the ground or plunk them in some potting mix. And I'm definitely not going to tell you if you should or should not do any of these options. I think it comes to personal preference and experimenting with them. Some people swear by nicking the seeds or scarifying the seeds. And there are a lot of different ways you can nick your seeds. You can take a nail clipper and clip off a small side of it. You can also take a sandpaper and just rub the side of your seed. Lots of different ways to do the same task. And the whole reason for doing that is since the seed is very hard, it just allows the water to come into the seed, which in essence allows the seed to germinate easier. Another option for pre-treating your seeds is soaking the seeds for at least 24 hours. You don't want to soak them too long, otherwise you're increasing the chance of rot. And the whole purpose for soaking the seeds is to soften up the seed as well as its coating and to allow it to germinate a little easier. But one of the drawbacks for soaking the seeds is it can allow for bacteria, which in essence will kill your seed. I've also seen some people take the seeds and put them in a wet paper towel or a coffee filter. And if you are going to try this method, keep a few things in mind. You want to do it again for about 24 to 48 hours. You want to make sure that it's not overly saturated or wet. That will introduce rot. And if you are going to use a paper towel, you don't want the seeds to start germinating and sprouting too quickly in there because the roots will start to tangle inside of the paper towel, and that's not good because sweet peas don't like to have their roots disturbed. And then I've heard of other people that have done none of these and their seeds sprouted just fine. Maybe it took extra days for the seeds to sprout, maybe it didn't. It all depends on a lot of different factors, so you need to play around with that. Containers. If you're going to start your seeds indoors, you want to keep a few things in mind when it comes to picking your container. The deeper the container, the better. The container should be at least 4 or 5 inches in depth. And the reason is you want to allow for the nice deep root that the plant is going to create. Again, the plant does not like to have its roots disturbed, so whatever you can do to minimize that is better. Another option that I've seen when it comes to sweet peas is people have invested money into what are called root trainers. There are a lot of different brands out there, but I've found that it can get actually very expensive when you buy root trainers. So really think hard if it's worth the investment for you. And if you don't have root trainers, or you don't want to buy root trainers, there are a lot of other things you can try. You can use paper towel rolls, toilet paper rolls. One of the drawbacks with the paper towel or toilet paper rolls, from what I've read, is that they can mold easily or they can even fall apart. But I think one way to get around that problem is water your seedlings in them, but don't overwater them. As long as you're not overwatering them, I don't think they'll fall apart that easily. You can even use something like a nice deep pot. Other options are snail rolls. It's not something that I've experimented with, but I have seen other people successfully sow their sweet pea seeds in snail rolls. And then we talked about it earlier, but then you could also winter sow your seeds in something like a milk jug type of container. No matter what container you use, just make sure you're using a well-draining potting mix. Sowing seeds. So let's talk about the germination phase of the sweet pea seeds. Whether you're direct sowing the seeds outside or you're sowing the seeds inside in a container, you want to sow the seeds about 1 to 2 inches deep. Make sure you cover the seeds as the seeds need darkness to germinate. The seeds like a soil temperature somewhere between 55 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. They are, after all, a cool season flower, so they like a nice cool soil. So what does that mean in terms of a seedling heat mat? I don't recommend using a seedling heat mat. The only reason you might want to use it is if you're sowing the seeds in a very cool grow room, cooler than, let's say, 55 degrees. Then in that case, you may want to use a seedling heat mat, but honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. I've read that if you do use a seedling heat mat, what can happen is you can actually inhibit germination, or you can cause your seedlings to become very leggy. Expect to see germination sometime between 10 to 14 days. It's actually recommended not to grow your sweet pea seedlings indoors under your grow lights. Normally, inside your house, it's warmer. The seedlings will not thrive in a normal situation like that. So when it comes to those seedlings, you want to grow them on a cooler side. Seedling care. This is what I'm going to refer to as the bulking up phase for the seedling. As soon as the seedling heads appear above your potting mix, you want to make sure you're putting them under grow lights. And the grow lights should be anywhere from 2 to 6 inches above the seedlings. It's all going to depend on what kind of grow lights you have. And if you're growing the seedlings on in a greenhouse, you should be fine as long as they're getting enough natural light. Regardless of where you're going to grow your seedlings, you want to make sure that you're growing them on in a nice cool space that falls somewhere between 35 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And why is it important to grow these seedlings on in that cool space and not inside of your warm house? Because you're basically trying to get the seedlings to bulk up. The goal is to have nice, compact seedlings that are putting their energy into strong roots. And you also don't want very leggy seedlings. Word of caution, mice actually love sweet pea seedlings. They love the peas themselves, and they even love the little sprouts. So if you are going to be growing these on in a cool space, somehow you want to protect your seedlings. you might have to put some sort of a mesh wiring around it, or you may need to put your seedlings up much higher. Do whatever you need to do so that the mice don't take out all your seedlings. As soon as your seedlings are about 4 to 6 inches in height, you want to pinch out the central growing tip, just above a set of leaves. I've heard that some people take those cuttings and actually are successfully able to root them, so you might want to experiment with the cuttings. And then you'll be leaving behind at least 2, if not 3, leaf nodes or joints. And in that area is where you're going to see branching occurring. Aim to plant out your seedlings at a minimum 2 to 3 weeks before your average last frost date. It's all going to depend on your temperature and how far along your seedlings are. And the reason I say that is they can actually handle very cold weather, somewhere between 20 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit, as long as you've properly hardened off your seedlings for at least 7 days and that they're nice and strong and ready to go outside. And even though they can tolerate cold weather, they can't tolerate extremely cold weather, weather that's typically 20 degrees Fahrenheit or less. So if you are going to experience temperatures like that, all of a sudden you're getting a very cold snap like that, then you are going to want to protect your seedlings. Plant care. Sweet peas are part of the legume family. They are heavy feeders. So it's important before you plant them out to put some compost or well-rotted manure deep into the planting hole before you plant your seedlings. It's a vining type of plant, so you are going to need some sort of support or trellis so that the sweet peas can vine up along them. You might have done everything right up until this point, but the plants like a lot of water. So make sure you're giving them what they need so that they can thrive. They're going to need water at least 2 to 3 times a week. Also, it's a good idea to mulch at the base of your plants. That will keep their roots nice and cool. It will help retain the moisture, and it will make it so that your sweet peas bloom for a longer period of time for you. Another way that you can get bloom time to be extended for your plant is by planting it in an area where it's going to get morning sun and afternoon shade. And you want to enjoy those blooms for as long as possible. For that reason, it is so important to keep cutting the flowers off of your plant. I know that sounds funny, but if you don't do that consistently, you're telling the plant to set seed. And once it starts doing that, it's going to stop blooming for you. So it's actually nice to be able to take cuttings and make little bouquets, little posies, but keep on cutting on your plant as soon as the flowers appear. That will tell the plant to keep on flowering for you. And you might even find yourself having to cut those flowers every 2 to 3 days, but I don't think that's a bad problem to have. My plans for growing sweet peas this year. My average last frost date, based on not my growing zone, but my zip code and my location, is around May 15th. I'm planning to plant out my seedlings about 6 to 8 weeks before my average last frost date. And that seems like a very early time to do it, but of course I'm going to be watching the weather and I'm going to be seeing if it's possible for me to get the plants out there. I just need those nighttime temperatures to be consistently above 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And I also need to make sure that the seedlings that I'm growing have been grown in a cool area and have been hardened off before I plant them out. So if I look at my average last frost date of May 15th and I count backwards 6 to 8 weeks before that date, I should be aiming to get my plants out in the ground sometime between March 20th and April 3rd. And that's all great, but then the question is, when do I actually start the seeds indoors so that I have nice transplants that can go outside somewhere in that time window? I want to sow my seeds about 6 to 8 weeks before my plant out date. So now we need to do more math based on the plant out dates of March 20th and April 3rd. If I count backwards 6 to 8 weeks, that means I should be sowing my seeds indoors sometime between January 23rd and February 6th. The seeds I'm planning to sow this year are called Queen of Night Sweet Peas Mixed Colors. And I'm popping up on the screen the information that's on the back of the seed packet. You can always stop the screen if you want to read the information. Other than doing the research, I've already started the whole process of getting my sweet pea plants off and running. On January 20th, I put my seeds in a moist but not sopping wet paper towel. And then I placed that in a resealable bag. I sealed the bag and I placed it in darkness for 48 hours. And that was in a warm spot in my house that stays about 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. On January 22nd, I took the seeds out of the bag. I noticed they were getting a little bit plump, but I was worried about them rotting. So then I put them in a restaurant takeout container. I had put potting mix in that container that was pre-moistened, and then I just put the seeds in there in a single layer. I covered the seeds, and then I put a humidity dome on top. I did not put any of this on a seedling heat mat because I didn't want to give any bottom heat because I know the seeds like a cooler temperature. And this whole step was optional, but I just wanted to do it so that the seeds could think about sprouting. And also, I didn't want the seeds, like I said, to rot inside of the paper towel. I didn't want to be checking the seeds on a daily basis in the paper towel. I just wanted them to sit and do their thing. And then on January 27th, I dumped out all the seeds and the potting mix just to see what was going on. And to my surprise, a whole bunch of the seeds had started to sprout. So that meant I had to work a little quickly. I had been saving up a whole bunch of paper towel rolls as well as toilet paper rolls. And I knew that they were a good height. The toilet paper rolls are about 4 inches in height, and the paper towel rolls are definitely much larger. So I just cut them down to size. I cut them down in half. And then on the bottom of each of those, what I did was I cut slits, just about 1 inch or so slits. And then I folded them in almost like you would with a cardboard box when you're closing the top of them and you're closing the flaps. I did the same thing on the bottom of each of those toilet paper as well as paper towel rolls. And then I filled each of those rolls with pre-moistened potting mix. And the potting mix that I use is just a DIY potting mix, but you can use whatever you want as long as it's well draining. And then I planted the pre-sprouted seeds about 1 inch deep. And then I pressed the potting mix on top down just lightly, just to tamp them in place. After that, I realized I did not have enough paper towel and toilet paper rolls. So then I used some very tall pots that I had handy. And I just did the same thing. I filled those pots with potting mix. I sowed the seeds about 1 inch deep, covered them up, and after I got all of that done, I just corralled everything inside of a cardboard box that I have handy. And since the seeds had already germinated, I figured it's safe for me to go ahead and move everything out to my unheated garage. My unheated garage does not freeze during the winter. Even during the very cold days that we've been having lately, the garage has been hovering around 38 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And I figured it's a great place for me to grow on my sweet pea seedlings. And there you have it. That's basically where I'm at. I've done my research, and I also have gotten the seeds to germinate. The seeds have been planted, and they're now in a cool area, which for me is my unheated garage. If my garage was, let's say, not attached to my house and it got to freezing temperatures in there, I would not be putting these seedlings in my garage. I'll definitely keep you posted on how this goes. This is all an experiment for me, but I'm very excited to give it a try. Now I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments if you've ever grown sweet peas from seed. And if so, how have you done it? Have you planted the seeds out in the fall time? Do you start them indoors? Do you start them in a cool space like a greenhouse? And have you ever had leggy seedlings? Have they recovered from their legginess? And until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.